Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode. We made it tonight.
Yeah.
Let me get a mic check, just so I can, because we got a new feed.
Hi.
Let me get an April.
April!
All right, that was loud. Guys, welcome to another edition, another episode of William versus the World. Everyone, if this is your first time watching, share the feed. That's right. The most powerful thing you guys can do is sharing the feed. It's the best way to support the channel. It's the best way to support the fucking band. The most powerful and valuable thing you can do for this live stream and all of our broadcasts and contributing from here on out is to just share the live feed. I mean, you can donate in other ways, but that is the best. Sepsis is a band. We play hard rock and heavy metal music. We're from New Hampshire, and offstage, we are also streamers, content creators, and everyday people. I'm back on this episode with my esteemed co-host, Miss Lexi Swarm.
Hey.
She was off yesterday. So you can donate, of course, to the band, our images, and our broadcast by sending us fucking stars or like subscribing to the page. I know you can do that on Twitch, Twatch, Book, Face, Space. I promise. Also, guys, you'll have to remember that we are here each and every weekday at 7 p.m. So no weekends for me.
You take the weekends off.
I take everything off. I don't even know if this live stream is happening right now.
You don't know?
Yeah, I think we should continue to go with it, though. This is the only live stream and music show presented about the music industry by musicians. We are independent musicians, but not just any musicians. Lexi, musicians you know.
I do know you guys, yeah.
I don't know how it's possible, but Melissa's not here,
Yeah.
and she just commented in the text that says, "You're live." So thank you, Metaverse Melissa. She is always here. I wonder if that is actually her artificial intelligent Metaverse Melissa persona.
Maybe. She's the best.
Guys, we put the articles and the information on the screen, as you can see behind me, so you can follow along, but more importantly, so you can rest assured that I'm not making shit up.
People like to...
That's the reason why I really put this stuff on the screen. It's not really...
Because people think you're making it up. That you're the one writing the articles. You work for Metal Sucks and all this bullshit.
I don't know what they think, but this is what I think. I think we all spend too much time on the internet, and one could get carried away with what one thinks.
Yeah. Very easily.
And that's why we put the articles on the screen behind me, so people don't forget that I'm not making stuff up as I go along, and that I'm only responding to the stories that are presented here on the program. That's all. I'm not a fucking journalist. I have absolutely no I have absolutely no commitment to fine journalism. I'm just a musician. Guys, the views and opinions and individual ideas that are presented here on the stream are for entertainment value only, and not always the opinions expressed on the page during this stream or any others are necessarily reflected by every member of the band. You know, like Hot Sauce doesn't feel how I feel about P. Diddy. I don't know what she thinks, but we'll just start there. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the hell Allison thinks about Dave Grohl. I've never asked her, but sometimes I think that I may say things here and people might think, well, gosh, I wonder if that's what everybody thinks. But I rest assured, we don't all think the same things here in the band, as far as performing members or staff. So for sure, guys, this is for entertainment purposes only, and not all the opinions expressed here on the page during my streams represent or reflect every member of Sepsis, or the staff, or our partners. So, ladies and gentlemen, call the cops, call your parole officer, call your mom, update your apps, and grab your slippers and squeeze your grippers. It's time for another episode of William versus the World!
Woo! Yeah.
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 There we go. Ah, finally a question. All right. I have a question from H.P. Lovecraft Cat.
Okay.
That is quite the name, I ain't gonna lie. He says thoughts on, and I mean I can ask. I do have some help here. Thoughts on Jeff Becerra, frontman of Possessed, being ousted as a pedo. How come you didn't just write it?
Yeah, just write the word pedophile.
Oh, so he wrote P, lowercase p, the number 3. Lexi can't see, so I'm trying to describe this to her. I think I'm going to sneeze.
Bless you. Bless you. I bless you. We all bless you.
I'm trying to feel blessed.
Bless you. Watermelon.
Let me be serious. What is the watermelon thing?
To get your mind off of it. So you can be
Next
like,
thing you're
what
going to say is
watermelon?
fried chicken, right? Hey, this goes out to everybody. No, so look, I think I'm done with the sneezing thing.
Yes,
So
it worked.
let's get back to this. So he said YouTube sometimes censors the entire content for certain words. Hold on.
on.
So let me see. I'm going to see if I get censored right now. Cunt, motherfucker, pedophile, go fuck your mom. See how we do that here? That's what I love about the internet, is because they got everybody by the balls. Everybody's worried about getting community banned or whatever. Not me. I hope they tear the whole fucking internet down by tonight. That's right, guys. If they tear this fucking page down, oh well, you'll just never see it again. I don't give a shit. If they ban us from music or rock and roll, fuck it. Who gives a fuck? There has to be one entertainer. There has to be one band. There has to, with all, I mean, think about it. All the bands, all the comedians, everyone is held hostage to the internet, social media, their fans, the gadgets. There has to be one guy. There has to be one brand. There has to be one band that authentically doesn't give a fuck. And that's right here.
Exactly.
That's right. It's right here. It's right here. You can't, I mean, honestly, you couldn't call the police and have them censor my thoughts, my ideas, my feelings. But he's right though, and believe me, you guys should protect yourself at all costs. Don't take any advice from me. I authentically don't give a fuck, and I know that most people do. So by all means, whatever you do, don't manipulate or change or adjust your virtues for me. One thing is for sure, is I am also a person that doesn't want or require or recommend for any of you to try to live or think or dream or imagine like me. With that being said, I can say fuck over and over again on the internet, and I honestly don't give a shit who bans me. See that? It's amazing. I don't care how many views I get on this. I don't care if any of you guys, out of respect for you guys that come here and watch me every night, I love you all. But I don't personally care if any of you ever come back and watch this program ever again. Do you know how liberating that feels to be a musician on Facebook? That I actually don't give a shit if anybody ever listens to my music ever again. I don't care if people go to my shows. I don't care if people buy tickets. I don't care if people believe me. Fuck it. Because my content is only for people that get it. And that's it. No people pleasing. But not for YouTube, not for my record label, not nobody. Fuck everyone, 100%. I say what I want when I want. And no one on the internet, there isn't one man, there isn't a band, there isn't a rapper, there isn't anyone that doesn't have a parole officer, that doesn't have a record label, that doesn't have their mother that's standing over them telling them that they can't say that or they can't do that. Your favorite rapper, the coolest rocker, the bodybuilder, the cool politicians, they have some dude, some manager, some boss, some emperor that's standing over them, whether it be YouTube, Facebook, MySpace, their girlfriend. Somebody's standing over them, putting the pressure on them and holding them hostage, preventing them from telling you the truth. And that's why I have this program, is because there isn't a fucking person, not anyone, not a God particle, anywhere in existence that controls what I say and what I feel and what I express on this program. And that's why you guys can trust me and know that this is 100% authentic. Not even YouTube scares me. The internet doesn't scare me. Views don't scare me. My fans can't hold me hostage. I 100% don't give a fuck. I have no family members. My parents are dead. I went to prison for years and years. I absolutely don't give a fuck about rock and roll, the heavy metal scene, the local scene, the global scene, the national scene, the unseen. And one thing you can count on me is I actually authentically don't give a fuck more than your neighbor. I don't want to make it in the industry. I don't want any more awards. I'm not looking for dudes to impress. I don't care about audience members, how many people come to my shows. I don't give a fuck anymore. So the one good fucking part you could take away, the key takeaway, the common denominator is at least I'm one person that you can count on. Because I don't give a shit about impressing anyone in my family, any brands, any companies, any politicians. I'm not religious. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not white. I'm not black. I'm whatever the fuck I want to be anytime I want to. And YouTube can't make me shut the fuck up. There you go. Not your wife, not your uncle, not your Catholic deities, not your chains, not your statuettes, not your hip hop, not your rock and roll. Is that authentic? Because all of those entities and all of those brands have to wake up tomorrow and answer to somebody, and I don't. It's the coolest trick in town. So when I want to spell pedophile, I fucking spell it and mean it. Now, who are we talking about? Jeff Becerra, the front man of Possessed, being ousted as a pedo. I don't know anything about it. I've never heard anything about it. I'll have to check it out myself. I'm a firm believer that making accusations, especially like criminal accusations against somebody, I know the scene, when we talk about the heavy metal scene, the heavy metal scene is not scientific, and the heavy metal scene doesn't use case law. So the heavy metal scene doesn't care about common sense. They don't care about case law. So I can't sympathize with the scene. That's why I've never felt that myself or my band have ever been a part of the scene, and we try to distance ourselves as much as possible from the scene, because the heavy metal scene has ousted people for less. the heavy metal scene tends to out people for rumors, hearsay, and non-scientific conversations on social media. Rumor mills and meme mags and comment sections. To me, the metal scene online ain't nothing but comment sections and memes and strange like insecurity and it's just I really can't relate. Yes, Lexi, go ahead.
It's almost like a high school cafeteria.
I don't have the low self-esteem frequency to even relate to the heavy metal. I don't even know people that look like me in the heavy metal scene, let
Not
alone
even the comments relate to the topic.
to be fair, I think that the heavy metal community doesn't follow case law. They don't have the patience or process to follow the law. I also think they don't care. That's my opinion. And the heavy metal community isn't very scientific. They're very mythological. Demons and dragons and devils and fucking... So the heavy metal community, the heavy metal scene, heavy metal lore is based on mythology. They're not very scientific, truth emerging, fact based, scientific people. And this is reflected by the comment section. So when I think of people being accused of being a pedo, that's what he says here, that the scene accused somebody of being a pedo. I don't know this artist. I've never heard of it. I'm going to read after for fun because I like finding stuff like this out. But without defending people who've been mean to people, this is what I will say. I think that any time that people on the internet casually throw around accusations that somebody has committed a crime that serious, I think that they should be aware also that accusing people of crimes can be considered a crime. Thank you. You know what I mean? Like, directly. So, you know, I believe if somebody believes that somebody in the scene has committed a crime and they're going to go on record and say that, I think that they should also provide some sort of emerging scientific evidence that encourages the truth. You feel what I'm saying? So I will say this. I'm a man of case law. I think anybody that thinks that they're a victim or believes that someone is a victim of a crime that serious should probably contact the state police or authority or their lawyers or people like that. I don't think that anything that's serious in heavy metal, anything that's serious in nature, guys, here's one for you. Anything that's really serious or of criminal element, take it from somebody like me. I've done 17 years behind bars. Anytime that you have a criminal element involved, I don't think that it can be resolved on Facebook. Okay? That's what I'm going to say. So when the scene thinks they're ousting people, I don't believe any of that shit. I think they're playing around on social media. The heavy metal bully breed on social media feels strongly that they can jump into a comment section and intimidate people out of making music or scare people off a stage. But I'm here to tell you right now that there's all kinds of sex offenders in rock and roll to this very day. There are huge artists that are on stage today with allegations. There are political figures and other men in power that are on stage today and nobody's saying anything. So I don't give a fuck what heavy metal thinks. Heavy metal isn't powerful enough to move a pedophile. Heavy metal's full of shit. The scene is weaker than the line in the chow hall in state prison. The entire heavy metal scene is weaker than the chow hall in state prison. And I'm telling you that from experience. Nah. The heavy metal scene is one of the most laughable, weak, misogynistic entities I've ever seen. I've seen more inclusive, effective, I've seen more effective groups in a church in state prison than I have seen in United States heavy metal. So yeah, I say this, man. Anybody that's accusing anybody of a crime that serious should be contacting experts, not trying to resolve issues on Facebook. If you want somebody to take you serious, then you bring it to the authorities. You know what I mean? If you're accusing somebody of a crime or something, someone's hurt, and you want somebody to take you serious, fuck the heavy metal scene. You should be calling the state police or something like that. What do you think, Lex?
I agree.
That's the way I look at it.
The comment section really isn't the best place to have those types of conversations.
HP says they're blaming the victim who came forward. They always do. They always do. They're blaming the victim who came forward rather than the actual perpetrator. HP says, I'm horrified. The text and voice messages were quite disturbing. You'll see after the stream if you look it up. So if, HP has a good point here. He says, if I look it up, and I will, but let's all look up the history of sexual abuse, rape, and the assault of minors and young girls in specifically hard rock, rock and roll, and heavy metal. I talk about it all the time. From Jerry Lee Lewis to Elvis Presley to Marilyn fucking Manson. And you can include R. Kelly, and you can include Tupac, and you can include some big rock and roll names in there. But let's talk about rock and roll. Let's talk about Jerry Lee Lewis. Let's talk about Marilyn. We did a whole show yesterday on Marilyn Manson. Still paying his accusers. But that's the point. Hard rock, rock and roll, and heavy metal is the boys' club. They have a history of abusing women sexually and getting away with it. It's the rock and roll thing. Just look it up. It's not like I want it to be this way. I think when I report on stuff like this, I think people go, oh my goodness, like that guy Will, he's harsh. No, heavy metal's harsh. I didn't accuse Jerry Lee Lewis of being a perv. So just the same here. You'll see this story that I have in back of me with the gentleman. That's a crazy word. Here I go. But look at the fella here from As I Lay Dying. He's in the news again.
Again?
Yes, but Lexi, it's not like I want him to be in the news. So I covered Marilyn Manson yesterday because he had to pay Rachel, $250,000 for her lawyer fees because he had to drop the defamation suit claiming that she was lying about him assaulting her. Well, turns out. But anyways, so, this guy, Tim Lambesis of the band As I Lay Dying, it's been in the news nonstop. I haven't covered it one time. I've been trying to avoid it. Mm-hmm. Why not? Why wouldn't I want to avoid it? It's ultimately horrifying. And we know that, he's went to prison before for trying to off his first wife or whatever. But look, it's a fucking horror story.
What's he in the news for again?
He's back.
What do you mean back?
It's an ongoing thing. But the point I'm trying to make is it's popular in heavy metal for guys to kill their wives, beat the shit out of girls, sexually assault girls. It's popular for these heroes in heavy metal to do it. Jerry Lee Lewis, Elvis Presley. It's the male misogynistic rock star beat the shit out of your girl thing.
What the fuck?
It's popular. And when I say it's popular, people go, oh, William, you're a big meanie. You act like I hit the girl or something. I'm reading the story.
Right, you're not the
Right,
you're just a
I'm not
messenger.
right. I'm not a powerful misogynistic rock star nationalist beating the shit out of people.
No.
And if I was, by all means, put me in prison.
Right.
That shit is funny. Scott says the metal scene has changed so much since I listened to metal, but you know what has not changed in rock and roll? Rape. That hasn't changed. See, the thing is like, we'll talk about Marilyn Manson, or we'll talk about this Tim guy. We'll read, he said this other guy. I don't even know this other guy. There's a new guy every day. You had the Attila thing the other day with their sexual assault, rape thing. Then you've got the Tim, I'm going to kill my wife thing. Then you got the Marilyn Manson giving Rachel $300,000 for having to drop his defamation case. That blew up in his face. So, but I'll read stories like that, and people go, oh my God, rock and roll and heavy metal is crazy. All these powerful boys, all these powerful rapey boys are always in the news for being mean to chicks and minors. And I'll say, stop saying that it's new. That's like when I report about the music industry being a fucking hoax, being a lotto casino game. When I say that the music industry is a game, it's a casino game, a popularity contest that's made from jukeboxes, players, gadgets, and gizmos. It's a pay-to-play Ponzi fucking scheme. People go, oh my God, the music industry's fucked up now. No, not now, Lexi. It was before.
It's been filled with rapists.
Right.
Can we stop raping people?
Right. The whole guys, it has to deal with from the beginning of rock and roll. It's been popular in rock and roll to protect our favorite misogynistic rapists. It's been that way. Stop saying it's new.
It may be new to you, but it's not new.
Right. So I'll read a story about one of these guys and we'll go, oh my God, I can't believe that's happening now. No, the whole point of me having this program is to tell you how fucked up the music industry has been for our entire lives. And all you have to do is look. So when people go, come on, Sepsis, are you sure you guys don't want to be a part of the music industry? Yes, because I'm trying to show you, if you look at it, and you've looked at it today, and you looked at it last month, and you've looked at the music industry for the last 85 years, you'll see it for what it is. It's a boys' club that's been abusing chicks and stealing money.
Since the beginning.
I can't make it any clearer than this.
You really can't.
And all you would have to do is fucking look.
Right.
We live not in a country or a time or an era. No, since we've got to this continent, we prop, we push, we encourage, and we protect powerful men that rip women apart and rip down their freedoms, that take away their birthrights. What are you guys talking about? That's not a new thing.
That's how the country was built.
That's how they built the country. That's not a political statement. That's not 50 years ago, women couldn't buy homes. What are you talking about? This isn't new. Powerful men treating women like shit in rock and roll has been since the beginning of rock and roll. I just keep saying it.
Because no one stopped.
Because no one's stopping it. So every day I have never-ending content.
Because we just can't stop. It's ridiculous.
I don't have to do another article. I don't come up with this shit. We look every night, we look in the news, and it's more rock stars and politicians fucking over chicks, beating on minors, stealing from people, creating games with mechanical apps, developers creating software to steal data and fucking treat us like shit. What are you talking about? Happy Thanksgiving. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Right.
It's what we've been doing. When I look, when I say, you guys listen to me. Sepsis signed a record deal with Sony Orchard Pavement in 2020. And they've been stealing from us ever since we signed the contract. Do you understand that or not? So when people go, how am I qualified? Because the music industry is stealing from us today.
Currently.
And
they've been.
When people say,
it.
yo, William, why do you think you're so qualified to talk about women and child abuse? Because I'm an orphan and I was abused as a child and I was kept in dungeons and abused by powerful men. That's how. It's not something that's happening tonight. It's been happening. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. What are you talking about?
It hasn't stopped.
Right. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. I'm just talking about my life. I just come on the internet and tell you guys about my life. And I read articles about rock and roll. I don't give a fuck one way or another. I'm just showing you. People say what's wrong with the music industry? I'll say everything. What's wrong with farming? What's wrong with each layer and department of industry? Everything. And then we'll all turn this off and go to bed and wake up tomorrow and shop. Nobody says what I say on the internet. There is no one like me but me saying the things that I say on the internet nonstop every day. And that's why we do this. Because no one can say, stop stealing, stop abusing, stop raping, stop fucking everybody over every single day. Because all of you break your concentration and go back to jerking off and shopping. So I created this show, William versus the World, so we can talk about it every single day. That's what it's about. This show is about crime. I'm from prison. This is a show about crime.
And how it hasn't stopped.
This show is not about the music industry. It's not about Marilyn Manson. It's not about Spotify. It's about all of you smart shoppers at home. It's about all the corporations. It's about all of you on Facebook. It's about everybody on social media living double and triple lives, shopping, gambling, stealing, and living lives in addiction, trying to leverage and have power over each other, committing crimes and abusing each other. And I'm the guy calling you all out every fucking day. There's no fucking medal, there's no Facebook, there's no lottery, there's just us fucking the planet up. There's just us stabbing each other in the back. That's all we got. That's what you got. It's a game. So, powerful men abusing women in rock and roll has been popular since the beginning of rock and roll. That's not my opinion. Just look for yourself. Rock and roll is famous for protecting its favorite sex offenders. Go look for yourself. If you don't like what I've said, just go look. If you got the guts. So that's what I think. HP, that's what I got. I haven't read about it, and I am a man of science and case law, so as opinionated as I can be, I think it's a terrible thing to make accusations about people without having very convincing, scientific, observable evidence. I don't think anybody should call anybody anything unless they have the observable evidence to back it up. Let's talk about it, though, for Christ's sakes. We've gone this far. Gosh, I wish I wasn't covering it. As I lay dyings, Tim Lambesis responds after videos of disturbing exchange with wife surface. Devil's advocate, here I come. Here I come. Before we get into this, there's some interesting words that are manipulative there. You know, they said video and everybody gets hard on that, like they're going to see something, right? But here's the thing that we need to know about video on the internet, especially short video in the time of TikTok and Reels and everything else. You guys, there's a lot of video of me out there saying things that if you snapped it in a 15-second clip, it might sound like, fuck shit, motherfucker, you know. So a person that's never seen me before or has never met me, that sees me in a 20-second clip from tonight, they might get the wrong idea of who I really am. We live in a time in the internet where we see creators or musicians or people online, and I think it's easy to see a 15-second clip or a 20-second clip of a politician or a comedian or somebody like myself and just assume that you know a lot about them because of the echo chamber of the internet in the narrow vision of a 30-second clip, okay? You don't know what happened 30 seconds of the clip. You don't know what happened a minute and 20 from the clip. And video and the internet's really fucked people up because people think that just seeing a video and seeing a video on the internet, I don't know why, especially in the days of AI looking real, but still, we live in a time where video is still so convincing to people. I don't know how a 20-second clip can be convincing to anyone, especially in the time of AI. But hey, whatever. Some people are fucking stupid. So a lot of people will see a 15-second clip of someone and be like, I don't like her. It's like, you don't know her, fuckface. It's a 20-second clip. And you don't know her before the 20-second clip. You don't know her after the 20-second clip. And we have all said and done some pretty stupid shit in our lives. Let's face it. No, I'm not saying that that's not subject to consequence. I'm just keeping it real. Scientifically speaking, for all observable scientific emerging truths, when we see a video that's a minute and a half, we haven't seen 5 minutes or 10 minutes after that video. That's fair to say.
Definitely.
It's just easy to get the wrong impression about somebody or hear the word, oh man, there's a video on it, and go, oh, busted. And I'm going to tell you why. Ready? That's because even in a court of law, everybody, evidence isn't proof. Did you hear what I just said? This is why video doesn't really matter on the internet. When you watch a 20-second video of somebody that looks like they're beating the crap out of their boyfriend, you don't know what happened before that video went on record. And you don't know what happened after. You didn't see the court case. You didn't see the emerging evidence that came out in the case. And you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You're just looking at the video and you're like, I don't like that guy. And now you got that in your mind. But it's not based on science. It's not based on anything but your emotions.
You're reacting to it.
You're reacting to it. And that's how a lot of people meet me for the first time. Is they meet me online or they see me in a 20-second video and they go, that guy right there doesn't like Backtracks. It's like, do you realize I've never said that?
Ever.
There's not one video of me out there where you can see me say in plain English that I don't like Backtracks. In fact, I love Backtracks. Look, I said it. I like Backtracks. I like Backtracks with other bands other than mine because I know that Backtracks absolutely do enhance and add value to a lot of other bands. But with that, I will say, I would never choose Backtracks for Sepsis because I think it would be too noisy. So, but when I say in a 20-second clip, I wouldn't never use Backtracks. Are you fucking crazy? and that's the clip, people go, oh, that guy doesn't like backtracks. And if your band uses backtracks, then you go, I don't like William because William doesn't like me. Now, is any of that true, though?
No, that's rumor mill.
That's rumor mill bullshit. That's internet fluff. You see? There's no common sense. And that's why we say the truth is expensive. It takes time. It costs money. Because on the internet, you can throw a bunch of bullshit at the wall, and let's face it, you throw enough bullshit at the wall, even people that don't like you will chew on some of it. That's why people love, Joe Rogan and people like that. It's not that they necessarily agree. It's that there's so much content out there in the world. The guy can go chicken nuggets, sweet and sour, French fries, egg roll. Eventually, you're gonna say, "Oh, okay, egg roll, yum." You know what I mean? Like eventually, it's gonna hit. At some point in time, Joe Rogan has said something we've all disagreed with. At some point in time, Joe Rogan has said something we've all agreed with. At one point in time, William Savant has said something we've all disagreed with. And at one point or another, I've put out so much output that at one point or another, even people that don't like me go, oh, he's got a point, without knowing what the point is.
Right.
That's confusing. But you get the point. So, I think when they title these and we start reading these articles, especially from meme mags like Loudwire, I mean, it's clickbait stuff, TMZ style, teenager type of journalism. So it's based on impulse words and stuff like that. The article will say, 70% of all males, and then of course 90% of all males will click on it
because they're triggered.
Right. It's just internet bullshit. So of course it says, as I lay dying, Tim Lambesis responds after videos of disturbing exchange with wife. And I just think we need to remind ourselves that Loudwire isn't court. The Facebook comment section is not a place where you store evidence. Just because you GIF file sepsis in a comment section doesn't mean you're going to cyberbully us into making music or not. New videos have started to circulate around the internet that have shown As I Lay Dying frontman Tim having a disturbing exchange with his wife, Danny. Now, Tim went to prison for attempting to kill his first wife. He was going to pay somebody to clap her. That's not nice. Yeah. But can I tell you something? And a lot of people aren't going to want to hear this. I'm not sticking up for him, but a lot of people aren't going to want to hear this. It doesn't matter if you like Tim's band or not. It doesn't matter if you like Tim. Somebody tag him. But here's the thing. You may not like him or his music, but he got caught for his crime, and you may not like the crime that he got caught for, but he did his time, dude. And in this country, that's the process of the law. He went to court. The conclusion is that he was guilty for the crime. And then he went to prison. And you may not like how that turned out, but that is a conclusion of the United States judicial system, and that just happens to be the process and the chain of command holding people accountable in this country. And you can have that conversation with somebody else. I don't make the fucking rules. You know what I mean? Like, don't get mad at me for that. So I mean, he did his time is what I'm saying. But let's not forget, get caught, right, and go to prison trying to kill your wife, and then people might think in the future that you're an aggressive cat, right? So like I'll use myself as an example. I went to prison I got a 12-year sentence. I wound up doing 15 years because I absconded a couple times. So I wound up making it a worse process for myself. Okay? But But I wound up doing 11 of the 12 years inside. I wound up completing my sentence, everyone, on parole. So there has been times in my life when me going to prison has been an obstacle and definitely like prevented me from working at certain jobs or doing certain things, right? But there's also been times in my life where everything that I experienced going through prison and growing up in institutions, I would never change anything about that. Because a lot of the experiences that I went through, I feel like I needed to go through. And they have opened up conversations and opportunities in my life that never would have been hadn't I experienced those things. And people might go, oh my God, William, that's crazy. That's savage. That's a harsh truth that we're learning about you. But it's the truth, you know. And I don't have any skeletons in my closet. People like me or they don't, you know. But that's why I said I'm not defending him, but I do know the pros and cons, the punishments. The punishment doesn't end, you know, when you get out of prison or when you recover from alcoholism or when you go through something difficult. It doesn't end there, right? We're still a work in progress. So I'm not defending him, but at least on his first case, he did his time. Anyway, so I guess, Lex, the metalcore singer has since responded, claiming that the videos were released in retaliation after he filed for divorce.
So he filed for a divorce, and because he did that, they retaliated by putting out those videos?
I thought you'd like this.
What the fuck?
So the new videos have started to circulate around the internet, and they have shown Tim having a disturbing exchange with his wife. Notice it doesn't say that he stabbed her, he assaulted her, he shot her, he stomped her. He said, the
person viewing it's disturbed.
Right, and if you're a goofball reading this, who knows what your imagination can do to fill in the gaps. You say to disturbing to somebody that doesn't have the intellectual depth, and they're making shit up in their mind. They're imagining him strangling her and stabbing her to death like a Scream movie.
That's a crime. That's not disturbing.
Right, so that's what I'm saying. But if you're an uneducated person reading these fucking meme mags, again, I'm not defending anything that he's done, but it says here in plain English that frontman Tim is having a disturbing exchange with his wife. I mean, what one person defines disturbing is different from the next. That is an opinion.
Yeah, just also...
That's all I'm saying.
Even the title is an opinion. Like, that's your opinion. Your opinion thinks it's disturbing.
The metalcore singer has since responded, claiming the videos were released in retaliation after he filed for divorce. There are two separate videos that have started making the rounds. Before continuing, we will warn you that the following story we will be describing some disturbing scenes.
Oh my God.
If they say disturbing one more time, see, I don't like this because on the internet, to get people's attention, a lot of times, people will use English that encourage or implicate a crime. Does this sound familiar to you?
Yeah.
The guy went to jail. Okay. So now, anytime that he's in a kerfuffle or he's not getting along with somebody in the scene, there's always an implication of crime. The heavy metal scene loves doing this shit. They love flirting and tattletaling and playing grab ass with the idea or implication of crimes on each other. Do you see the obsession with this shit?
Yeah.
It's always this hokey pokey, jokey kind of shit that I wasn't allowed to do. But you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I don't even think I could say it on air.
They're playing around.
They're fucking around. And there's every time they are, there's always this implication that there's an I gotcha moment in the metal scene where someone's going to catch someone as an expert with their hand in the cookie jar. It happens with us all the time. Anytime people are mad at sepsis, there's always people dancing around the outside of a conversation where there's an implication of crime. Come on. If we have a VIP, it's an implication of crime. If we have a party, it's an implication of crime. Band members leave the band. There's always an implication of crime. Anytime that sepsis does something that people don't like, they look for an I gotcha moment. And it's always, there's always an illustrated, implicated illustration of criminal activity. Is that a heavy metal thing? I mean, I don't even know.
I don't think it's a heavy metal thing. I think it's a people thing.
Okay.
People in America.
Aha.
Specifically.
Like dry snitch nation.
Yeah. People.
I was going to say it early.
If someone doesn't like something that
Yeah.
someone does, they're going to think, oh, they're
Call
being a
'em out.
criminal.
Call 'em out, dude.
When all in all, they're just not doing what you want them to. So because they don't you don't have control over them, they're a criminal to you.
Yeah. I also see this a lot in the heavy metal community. The more successful a band is, the more the bottom feeders will implicate them and misunderstand their driven personalities and agenda for having a criminal or narcissistic agenda.
Oh yeah, they're successful, so they're stealing from their fans. Like, what the fuck?
Right. They're selling tickets, so they're taking over.
Right.
Trying to take over the metal scene, dude.
No, we're just want to play some music,
Right.
dude.
Right, people, right.
We're a band.
Right.
We're going to do different shit.
Right.
We're going to reinvent ourselves, and we're going to play the music.
Well said, Lex. That's why I have you on these programs. You really said it straight. So, one video appears to be in a bedroom. It doesn't include audio, but it shows the singer visibly having a tense conversation. I mean, we had a tense conversation before we got on the internet today. What the fuck does that mean? she as she counters his yelling. What kind of English is that? I have
There's
to
no
stop
audio.
there.
How do you know that they're yelling at each other?
How do you know she's countering?
Right. How do you know any of this?
Right. How do you know she's not agreeing?
Right. There's no audio.
He moves toward her, getting in her face before pulling back, hitting a suitcase, and visibly shaking his fists. I mean, I did that at the airport last time we went. I threw a suitcase and I shook my fists. Think if somebody would have got that on video.
They would implicate you
Right,
for crime.
right. William beats puppies. Clearly.
This is so ridiculous. Couples can't talk to each other anymore.
It could have been a political argument. It could have been two. They like different soccer teams. I've seen. Are you fucking kidding me? You never seen a couple argue and shake their fists? Now look, I want to make it clear. You find some video of this guy tearing people up, and we'll stop goofing. All right, but I'm not. She counters at his yelling. I yell all the time.
Why are you commentating?
I'm gonna yell now. Ah!
But like, I understood at this point in
Yeah.
the article why they're commentating a non-audio like video dispute.
Yo, Steve goes, they're making shit up.
Right? Like, what the fuck? Like sports commentators. Like, oh, he inched closer.
Right. Then she ducked his accusal. Come on, man. Stop doing that. Stop doing
that's
that.
disturbing.
Okay, but who the no, what's disturbing is who the fuck does that make sense to? Heavy metal. What the fuck? They're not scientific people. That's why I said earlier, they're not. This isn't case law. I think people forget that, like, when people call them out, dude. Okay, guys, it's Facebook. You're not really doing anything. You got to call the cops.
They're turning this into America's Funniest Home Videos.
No, you're turning into Judge Judy. You got to do something with that. You can't be like, I'm calling you out on Facebook. You're going to jail.
The
you know?
People's Court or whatever the fuck.
You guys can't hold court on Reddit. Y'all need to stop doing that.
Citizens
Like the
can't arrest each other.
like the comment section on Twitter is not like sufficient evidence.
Right.
Just because you said it's lit doesn't mean it is. What the fuck? Just because you said it, dude, that's lame, dude. It doesn't. That's the echo chamber of the internet. You going back to read your own comments. It's like sniffing your own balls.
What's lame is this is what they have for an article for today.
That's all they have. So he returned to bed to talk with her. Okay. He bangs his head with his fists a few times and punches his own arms before noticing the camera on the nightstand and turning it away from view. Given the nature of the videos, we've chosen to not include them. Thanks a lot. I think that's a move. Here's what he did. We're not going to show you.
So you're just going to tell us your interpretation?
Come on. How you going to be like, he did all this shit? But it's too much for you. How you going to tell? How you going to be like, hold on, you guys ready to hear this crazy story? Nah, you're not. You don't really need to know all of it. So all it means is we don't know all of it. Okay, so here we go. But there are links provided should you want to investigate. See how they talking? You guys that are on social media are not investigators. I'm not an investigator. Remember I started this program and I said, I'm not a journalist. I'm a fucking guitar nerd in a local band. How come I know that and other people in local bands don't know that?
Because they're not admitting it.
I'm not a rock star. I'm a fucking nerd with a microphone. I'm not an investigator. I'm not educated. I'm not nobody special. So why do you guys think that you are? A second video that's been posted shows an argument between the couple in an outdoor covered porch area. It is not known the timeline in which these incidents took place. Do you think that matters? That's a big deal, everybody. So they don't, I mean, that's what I was saying in the beginning about like having a 20-second video. There's something worse about having a 20-second video, not knowing when that video was uploaded to the internet. You know, so then you have that.
As well as the other stuff
So
they
like,
mentioned.
right. What happened before it, what happened after it, and when the fuck was this video even recorded? When was this incident, supposedly? Because that's the type of shit they're going to want to know in court. When did this shit happen?
And what was said, because there's no audio.
So yeah, in this video, which does include audio. Look at that.
Ah.
Well, this one does. We're going to watch it after. And we'll give commentary on it tomorrow. Guys, tomorrow, the Puritan Thanksgiving Massacre. Tune in. But if you guys don't want to hear the truth about Thanksgiving, don't tune in. If you guys are scared to hear about American history and the true origins of Thanksgiving, don't show up tomorrow. It's going to ruin your whole fucking day. Mm-hmm. Just skip it. As she shouts out an expletive back at him and starts to walk away, he tries to intercept her while professing his love. When she distances herself, he begins to punch himself as she begs for him to stop. Thoughts? What do you want me to say? This is what he said. Want to know what he said? And then we got to go.
What do you say?
Not long after the video started making rounds, Tim issued a statement on the matter. In his statement, the singer alleges that it is his wife, Dani, that was the source of the domestic disturbance. He also states that he has filed a restraining order against her and noted that a domestic violence investigation has been filed as well. So he fucking dry snitched on his wifey. This gets worse and worse. Ain't nothing worse than somebody that goes to prison for almost killing his first wife and then gets in a fight with his second wife and fucking snitches on her. We don't have a boo button, but if I did, boo hoo hoo for you. I don't like when dudes snitch on their girlfriends. Put a 1 in the chat if you would snitch on your girlfriend. Put a 2 in the chat if you would never snitch on your girlfriend. Yeah. I'm not saying it's right. But if any girls beat me up, I'm not telling. That's not an invitation for y'all to beat me up. But I'm telling y'all right now. Something about it. I'm not going to do it. I'll just take it. I'll just run. Where did you go? Hold on. Your microphone's off. The fuck is going on? Did we run out of batteries?
Oh, it might be out of batteries. It has a red
All
light.
right, say what you're going to say quickly.
I was just going to say, I would rather keep our disputes to ourselves. I wouldn't want to have a third party involved in whatever goings on with me and someone else.
Thank you, Lexi Swarm. And I'm sorry, guys, because her microphone is dead. I'm going to clean it up. So, in his statement, the singer alleges that she was the source of the domestic disturbance and also states that he's filed a restraining order against her as well. It's also noted that Danny is now formally... Oh, they're getting a divorce, I guess. He alleges a pattern. Oh, here we go. He alleges a pattern of verbal and mental abuse. Now look, I'm doing it again. Please don't listen to me. Please don't nobody try to relate with me. I really have a hard time with dudes that claim patterns of verbal and mental abuse from chicks. I have a very hard time with this. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I believe that it does. I believe it happens to a certain kind of man from a certain kind of woman, and I'm sorry that happens. Please don't think I'm not compassionate, but it is very hard for me when big, strong dudes that almost kill their wives have an alleged pattern of verbal and mental abuse from their girlfriends. It is very hard for me to believe that. It's hard for me to believe that a guy that tried to whack his first wife has patterns of verbal and mental abuse from his new wife. But he revealed that he took a much needed and overdue step of leaving her and serving her with divorce papers last week. He claims that the split is the reason that there has been retaliation against him. Ay, ay, ay. I'm not the judge. I'm not the jury. Chris says, well put, Lex. Holy shit, heavy metal. You have to ask yourself, is this the best heavy metal that we could have? Out of all the guys that rock out, out of all the Seasons and Sepsises, all the Mag Dillons and the Diamantes and the Pigweeds and is this the best heavy metal that we could have wound up with? For real, with the Dead by Wednesdays. And come on, y'all. This is what we got as they lay dying. This is the best we could do in heavy metal. All the bullying, all the snitching, all the sex offenders. This is what we got in rock and roll. Jerry Lee Lewis. This is the best we can do for men in America. Is this the best that men can do for women? Forget all the Republican and the Democrat and the black and the white stuff. Men, is this the best heavy metal we could have? Is this the best, safest, coolest internet we could have? Is this the coolest music industry we have? This is the best, this is the very best we got. This is the best boxing we got. We have the fairest, best competitive boxing. We've got the best musicians on stage. Marilyn Manson, that's the best we got? With all the independent artists and all the talent that we got living right next door to us. All the painters, all the entrepreneurs, all the free thinkers. This is the